Welcome back to Your Carolina. Are we in a housing bubble or are we headed for a housing crash? This morning we have Dan Hamilton from Dan Hamilton & Company at Keller Williams here to explain. Dan, thank you so much for making the trek over here to Sparkle City.
Absolutely, worth the trip. Good to see you guys.
Yay.
And so if you like Google, one of the most popular Google searches right now is, are we headed towards a housing crash?
What does that mean?
Well, what that means is my house going to lose value?
Oh.
I mean, I think that's because if some of us remember back to 2009, 2010 when a lot of values did vanish. And so people are wondering, is this going to happen again? Because it makes sense if you look at the way that housing prices have escalated over the past few months and in a year in particular. You can see why people might be like a little skittish about that.
Right, and right now, of course, with inventory, we were just talking about how many houses there are versus how many houses people are buying.
Right.
It's a crazy market out there.
It really is, and this is my 20th year in real estate, and I've never seen anything like it. But I want to kind of just talk about three differences between our market right now versus 2008, 9, and 10.
Yeah, because guess who thought it would be a good idea to put their house on the market in 2010? Because they had their first baby in 2008. They're like, oh, we need room. And guess who couldn't sell that?
I know, yeah.
But
Crickets.
we, took it off and waited 2 years, like, we'll make it work. And then
then it's good.
And then it was good. So.
And those three things you were talking about, we're starting with population.
Population, yeah. So the difference right now versus then is we've gotten older. Our population has gotten older. Those millennials who were back then, kids, are now have families, right? They're in their 30s. They've got kids. They need to buy houses.
They've stopped buying avocado toast, and now they're ready to buy houses.
Yes, yeah. So just the population has grown. We've aged, and now we're just at a point where there's more household formations.
Okay. How about inventory?
Inventory. So we already kind of talked about that.
Yeah.
If you look at what was built over the past decades in our country, we underbuilt in the year 2010 to 2020 by 50%.
Whoa.
So builders stopped building. So you look all around the country and there's not enough homes being built, even right
lumber.
now. Well, not to mention lumber.
That's a lot. That's a big part of it, right?
Yeah. So if you just look at a graph, it's amazing. You see homes being built like this, then all of a sudden this last decade just
Why?
vanished.
Did we think we had enough, or just people weren't?
Well, a lot of that was left over from that crash. Builders had a hard time getting ramped back up. And then regulation, the cost to build, the cost to develop now has gotten much tougher. So a lot of states and municipalities have really tightened down on building codes.
And the cost of goods obviously going up as well.
Right, exactly.
Let's talk about debt.
Yeah, so last one here, if you look at the amount of debt that we carried and the amount of equity that people had versus now versus then, back then a lot of the housing crash was caused by bad loans. They were giving loans to people that they didn't vet. They really probably shouldn't have had loans, and people had very little equity in their home, so they could walk away without many consequences. Now we have $20 trillion worth of equity in our homes in this country. So we have a lot more to lose if we were to walk away from homes and get foreclosed. So we've got better loans out there, more equity. People have more wealth in their homes right now.
So if it crashed now, would it be worse or better than?
Well, so if it crashes now, if values were to go down, and they really need to stabilize. I mean, we've got to have some more stabilization because pricing just keeps going up and up.
I see some of these houses that sell for and I'm like, that's $1 million home. It's a 3-bed. I'm not even kidding. You're like, what? That's crazy.
Yeah. So the good thing is we have so much equity now. We're protected if we're to level off, and you're not going to be underwater. That's what people really don't want. They don't want to be underwater in their home. They want to have some equity. So I think we're in really good shape right now, especially compared to last time.